Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FML FPL. Okay! Welcome to FML FPL Milan.
It's Walsh.
Not fully fit Walsh.
No, not by a long shot.
We're going to see how this goes. It might cut off early. We'll see how it goes. Everyone's very worried about you, dude.
Yeah, rightfully so. Everyone should be worried about having this sick since I was like 8 years old, I think.
Seriously. Kids bring home all kinds of fucked up shit, it turns out.
Yeah, but no, I'm definitely doing better, but I have this uncontrollable cough, so hopefully I can make it through, and I'm going to try and, kind of talk in a calm way, which is not too typical for me. I'm not too used to that, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so to start calmly, how'd you do after your wild card?
Oh, easy red arrow, baby. Easy red after the wild card, 58. Thing over here, thing over there. What are you going to do about it? But I'm happy with my team. I'm really happy with my picks, and I look like an easy save this week, which is, kind of how you want to set your team up.
That's a good
Just
sign.
didn't get too many contributions from my midfield. Jota, I don't know. Jota, very
we got some Jota questions. Being. Yeah.
Gray snatched at one. He almost, if I knew that, 4 of their starters were not going to be fit, I definitely would not have picked Gray, but that's what happened. Rafa, manager that lies, has Norwich. So we'll see what to do with him after the Norwich game and how he looks. But, Pookie came in, got a lot of defense points with White. Cancelo came in, Duffy got the, he just can't not return in a game. It's like the year of the Duff man. And, Captain Ron obviously didn't captain set piece FC Liverpool this weekend. Ron got me one. Yeah, Ron definitely had enough for a brace, and he just didn't do it on the day. But
VAR,
got one. So
VAR had a weekend.
Yeah, VAR was busy. Atkinson, huge cunt. Huge cunt.
There should have been at least 2 pens in that game, as far as I'm concerned. But
yeah, I think there was one. I saw one for Ronaldo. The rest were whatever. I didn't give a shit. But there was the one. I think the last one was very, very obvious to me. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was. I mean, I don't want. This isn't a VAR pod, but there were a bunch in other games too. Like there was the one on Dan James that looked like a pen. There was
the Bamford owner.
Yes, it's a Bamford owner. That's why I paid extra attention to it. There was all the Leicester weird shit with VAR. Their goals getting ruled off.
That game was fucking insane.
There were definitely more pens. I just can't think of it. It was just like they're making it. It's the classic overcorrection. Like last year's overcorrection was way too many pens, and then this year's overcorrection is way too few pens, and they'll settle. Whatever.
It just feels like there are no grown-ups in charge.
There are none.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
That's me.
I'm gonna read off your. I'm gonna save your throat and read off your team just for people who haven't seen your wildcard team. So, Sancho's gone at the back. Cancelo, Duffy, White, Trent, Livermento. Midfielders: Mo, Jota, Gallagher, Gray, Doug Luiz on the bench, and then Rom, and Pookie up top. So, kind of a 4-man rotation for like 2 spots. Is sort of the Pookie, Gray, Gallagher, Livermento. Duffy.
Livermento. I mean, all of them.
Yeah. So maybe
even
5.
White. Throw White in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fixture playing and a lot of rotational aspects of the team, which we're Trent. Hey, ill doesn't play. It's not. I'm glad I have 2 deep on the bench who are good. I got fucking 2 out of 3 returns on the bench, and the guy I put it fucking first was the one that doesn't score. But that happens.
Yeah.
How did you do?
Surprisingly well. I mean, I had 67 points, but I took a hit, so 63. I got a little bit of a green, but I made it. It was a green the hard way. I took a hit. I brought in Rom, Bamford, and Rafinha for Antonio, Tony, and Bruno. So net loss of 3 points on the hit there.
And the Tony.
I mean, what can you do? And then Captain Mane was another -4 over Mo, so that's -7. My auto sub, like everyone owns Trent, so everyone got an auto sub this week. My auto sub was Dyer, he got 1 point. The averages were like 4 points in the top 10K and 3.5 overall. It's ridiculous.
One more than you expected to get off the bench, though.
That is very true. So yeah, I had all those things working against me. I still got a little bit of a green.
You got the lucky Benrahma goal was the thing.
Yeah, huge deflection goal.
Made the week for owners.
Well, the lucky Benrahma goal, the lucky Bamford assist, the lucky Rafinha goal.
Fair.
Like
few luck sacks,
all
few
of
luck
the
sacks
above.
in there.
That could have been 3 blanks, and I transferred out a 12-pointer on a hit.
Yeah.
So we could have been really, really in the Dolphins. But somehow, even though I made 3 transfers last week, I have more flags this week than last week. So that's a cool new achievement that I unlocked on
you
Xbox.
Brought a couple flags in. So hey.
Who flags the flagger? So, that's my this week is a mess. But what else?
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Let me update the leagues. Shout out to the 3 FML FPL Prize League Mug League leaders for September so far. I think this is the last game week in September. So Lucas Maliburn first, aka In Control, Andy Foss-Grant, aka Fosse's Failures in second, and Michael Halfhide, aka Mother Farka in third. And then shout out to the leader of FML FPL Public League Lux.
That should be a changed name. That's offensive.
Mother Farka.
Yeah, come on. Fucking hell is this?
I think it's just like they see a Norwich reference and they're just like, you have it rough enough. You're the worst team of all time. And the leader of the Public League, Lux, aka Jed Villanueva, whatever the fuck that means. All right, so let's just dive in. I didn't realize until I was preparing for this pod that how used I am having 2 pods a week, because we have now twice as many questions as we do for either pod because it's just backed up and it's just like insane. So let's just go straight there. Everyone's asking about Bamford replacements. We got Owen on Twitter. He said, Bamford's out. Can you guys suggest the best short-term alternative as the list looks uninspiring? Jonah said, best sub 8 million Bamford replacement forward in the midfield. Hemdog is making the case for keeping him. Strikers below him and Antonio look meh thoughts. And then Viking Locomotive said, what do we do with Leeds, guys? I figured I'd just throw this in too. Great fixtures, good value, but injuries are terrorizing their team, and they haven't looked great. Yeah.
Go ahead. What are you seeing here?
Well,
let's start with the Leeds and then segue into the Bamford checks.
Leeds, overall, separating FPL and IRL, like FPL, I still think their attack is pretty good. Like I still think their guys are basically value. Like they're still priced as a lower or like a mid-table or lower mid-table team, and I think they're probably slightly better than that in attack. They haven't been nearly as good as last season, but they're still good. But FPL wise and like eye test wise, like the strategies are not working. Like the tactics are not working like they did last year, which was all out attack. We're going to just fucking outscore you. It doesn't matter how much we concede. And this season so far, they have 0 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. They're not outscoring people, and their defense is just as bad, if not worse. So that's a problem. Maybe we'll see some changes from Bielsa, maybe not. But, if the guys were fit, which Rafinha's not fit, Ayling's not fit, Bamford's not fit, I have all 3. If they were fit, I'd still be like, yeah, they're fine. Like, easy hold. That's why I transferred them in, because they're fine. But, with all the flags and all the injuries, it's very not fine.
They haven't functioned for a single game all year, really.
Yeah, they don't look good. They look like the 15th best team, whereas last year they were like the 8th best team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the depth is obviously a big issue. Like they already had really bad players to begin with. Yeah. And Rafinha and Bamford are really the only 2 attackers who are worth a damn. And, if you only get like 75% of both of them combined, basically, if like Rafinha's knocked and Bamford's just out, this team's not going to do anything. And, like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Leeds, and, the spine is a fucking big, huge issue. Like it's a trickle down when they don't have Llorente, they don't have Koch. Cooper shouldn't be in the team, shouldn't be near an 11, in the division, but, he keeps playing. He's the only one that doesn't get hurt, even though he's fucking 80 years old. All these players are bad. Like they're playing, and now they're going to be resorting to children who we've never heard of or seen before. I don't see like why they're going to be better or why they're going to get good. I just see them as huge problems for a while until all 5 of these first teamers get fit again, which who knows when that is. And at this point, I think, if ever. I mean, we've seen already Cook and Llorente just look like, fucking lit 40 million on fire. They play, 1 every 4 games. And, they're putting Calvin Phillips into positions that, he's just being asked to do too much. Then the middle of the park is just like completely wide open. And they have fucking Harrison is who we thought he was. He's been absolutely terrible. He's not a good player. You buy damn James, okay, great. He'll run up and down the wing like a fucking wingback or a fullback, but he's not going to give you any goals or anything on the score sheet. It's just the team's just really, really malfunctioning in all regards. And Rodrigo also cannot function with Bamford. Again, we're seeing like the beginning of last season, not the end of last season, where they just are not. They haven't played well together for a game. Rodrigo looks horrible. So it just looks like you want to run away right now, and you don't. Really want to have any pieces of any of the players full stop, and you want to target them.
Yeah, I agree with targeting their defense. I don't agree with you on the, all 5 need to be fit before I'd be interested. Like I said before, if Bamford and Rafinha are fit, I'd very happily and confidently hold them for the next 5 weeks. I don't think their attack's been as bad as it seems, because it just seems so bad because they're conceding goals and not getting results and stuff like that. But, attack-wise, they're getting returns.
They also haven't been scoring goals. I mean, what do they have? Fucking 5 goals this year in 5 games or some shit?
But Bamford has 3 returns in 5. That's good.
That's nice. But we're talking about the attack, not Bamford. Getting 1 or 2 or getting shares of the goal. But the attack's not been good. I don't know where you're getting it. It's been good. How has it been
fine. Good? It's just been fine. It's still above average.
I think it's been bad. Above average according to what though? XG? 5 goals in 5. That's bad.
I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 11th in goals with 5. And they're above average on XG. That's the definition of fine, But
it doesn't look fine though. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, they don't look good. They haven't looked good this year.
Yeah, I think that's just like a thing that I would be separating. But again, this whole argument we're having doesn't even matter because Bamford's out and Rafinha's hurt, so it's worthless, So in terms of replacements, I mean, I think Antonio is the trendy, very obvious good pick, partly because he has Leeds this week, and I totally agree with that. He's a fucking great pick this week. Love that. Other guys that you like?
I mean, St. Max is the only name I really was looking through and being like...
Yeah. He has Watford.
Yeah, the fixtures, honestly, for Newcastle, I don't care that much because they play the same shitty-ass way every game. And
all out attack.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to spring and be the guy that's dribbling the whole field anyway. So, and they do have pretty reasonable fixtures for a while. And he's looked really good. I mean, he's definitely shooting more. I mean, making really good decisions. It's tough without Callum because I don't know how he's ever going to get an assist. I don't know if anyone else. I mean, Joelinton was fucking clown show last weekend, but
Willock too. Turns out Willock isn't the best player in the world.
He's back on the milk carton. He gets his fucking deal, and he's just missing again. Yeah. I guess Neil's been. I mean, I'm not ever going to get on my team or anything.
Pens, though, I don't know. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, pens are still a thing, and he's at least nailed, and the team is playing well.
What about Edouard?
It just feels really unnecessarily risky. We still have no idea if he's going to play this week. I mean, he could be on the bench for another month or 2. I mean,
I would hate that.
As upsetting as it is, Benteke does do a lot of things that are hard for us, when we watch through an FPL lens to separate. But I mean, we just let up 3 set piece goals to set piece FC. Yeah. Take Benteke out, we could let up 7. Things like that,
No, that's true.
I just feel like Edouard's a little bit iffy. I'd rather see him start a couple
because he looked so good in his brief cameos. But it's too soon. I mean, I still believe in Adam Armstrong. I mean, I like that. He only has 2 returns, but I mean, he got 4 shots versus City. People
he shoots a lot.
Do that. He shoots all the time. He's in good positions all the time.
Their fixture run is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They have an away Chelsea in Game Week 7, but surrounded by mostly good fixtures. So, that's an okay one. Yeah.
Uki, I still think is fine. I mean, if you're I think the more important thing is, what is the second move you're doing with Bamford? Because if you're not getting Antonio straight in, which is the easiest no-brainer thing of your life, if you don't have Antonio and this is what happened to you, but otherwise, I think you want to see, okay, well, am I going to turn this spot up into, Lukaku or something, or am I really going to want to go down to a Pukki or maybe even a Dennis, and maybe you want to put like a couple million in defense or whatever.
Dude, Dennis.
I feel like,
love that pick. Dennis.
Yeah, he's fine.
Dennis is everything that we wanted Brewster to be last season.
Yeah, he's just a little bit more expensive, but
he's a tiny bit more expensive, but he's started every game. He has 3 returns in 5. He looks good. Like, he's just fucking really good.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if he's a little reverse out of position-y because, if anything, it helps his bonus points. But
he also, King also isn't really like a striker. Like, he drops in. Like, Dennis is allowed to cut in and stuff,
Yeah, if that's a spot that you might not start every week and play fixtures more, then, that's a 0.7 savings from Pukki, who, you'd be happier to bench. I think that's an option.
Yeah.
It's Tony's tough because he's just looked fantastic every game this year, but they just have this murderer's row coming up.
And
Liverpool,
they
West
just
Ham, Chelsea, Leicester.
Don't really attack much. Yeah, but the fixtures make it like not even an option. But even in good fixtures, I'm just like, don't know how much they attack. It's like they're gonna spring their 3 encounters, and he's gonna do the right thing, and it's gonna be great. But if they don't score those goals, then they're not gonna do anything else for the rest of the game.
That's fair, but I just think at 6'3", we're talking in this budget bracket.
Yeah.
You're not going to find someone who doesn't have issues, and he is
totally
proven to be very clinical, and he's also underratedly set up a lot of. He could have 3-4 assists right now. Also,
he's very fucking good.
Yeah, he's just a really good player. So I think that's also a player that just to keep in mind, I guess.
And then Molly also
has pens.
Yeah, and he's insanely good at pens too. Molly also asked, what do we do about Wolves' attack? Keep faith in Jim. I want to believe.
No, we didn't have faith last. I wildcarded him out before a great fixture run. If that doesn't tell you, how we feel about that. At this point, it's just kind of, FPL in one game, in one season is a season of a small sample size. And when you watch a player kind of not doing the things and the team just, having grand mal seizures on the fucking pitch every week, when it comes to the final third play, you don't really want parts of that until the manager, makes some changes and, takes wing backs out of attacking positions and, puts more goals on the field. So I just think it's not.
I look at Jim and I'm just like, is he the problem? And my gut says, more than anything else. He's been one of their worst players. He's supposed to be central to everything and doing all the good stuff, and he just hasn't been good.
Yeah, but you have to ride that out. The answer is not bench Jim and figure out, what to do with the other 11. Unless if he's actually not fit, he has to play. You have to play him in a form.
To me,
Yeah, so if that's the case, great. But if he is fit and he's just still rusty because he hasn't played in a year, I don't think you have a choice really. Looking at their team and their personnel, you have to get him. You have to get him right.
Looks good. I don't know.
But Jim's their best player.
I wouldn't go there. He used to be. I don't know if he is anymore, but
I'm not ready to say something like that.
He's just been so horrible. It's just hard to allow that. Let's go to Chelsea. We got a bunch of Chelsea questions. I think a lot of these questions are more angled towards after this week because they play City this week and they go on the good run and starting at 7, but still worthwhile. Aaron said, so Alonso, should I bring him in so he gets benched? Mr. Ralph followed up and said, Marcus Hay played 90 in every game, highest scoring defender in the game. Only blank was versus Liverpool. Still only 5'7". How come you guys aren't drooling all over him? Is this the same pod? Fair. Trini said, how would you rank Chelsea defenders as FPL options? At what point should we be concerned that Chilwell may take Alonso minutes? Monkman, advice for Reese owners is too sideways to go Rudiger. And then Harry said, all this talk about Lukaku and Game Week 7 being essential, but is Game Week 9 the new entry point? Southampton and Brentford don't look like great attacking fixtures right now. I don't know.
What are you seeing here with Chelsea and the personnel?
Well, I think let's just get that Lukaku point out of the way. Southampton clean City and Brentford have been tight. I don't believe those to be their futures, and I would still think Rom is the easiest thing ever in Game Week 7. But otherwise, the rest of the questions with the defense, Yeah, Rudiger, I've been saying since fucking preseason, has been like the guy in my opinion, and he just starts every game. Basically, every game he's been available since Tuchel got there, and he's just great and scores all the points. Alonso, I think, is the harder one to figure out because we've been scared of Chilwell for now. When did Tuchel get there last season? Like 20 straight weeks. I feel like we've been scared of Chilwell, and like Alonso, anytime he plays, is just an absolute fucking monster. We know that. And he's started every game. Chilwell only has played like a cup game. I don't know what to make of it, but I think like Rudiger should be top of everyone's list probably in game week 7.
Yeah, I think Rudiger, we know about that. To me, Alonso still just feels like a transfer waiting to happen. And I don't know, you're looking at these teams and, people do get thin on the bench, and how many of these types of players do you want? People are, have Jota, city defenders, there just are, you just can't stomach very many of these sorts on your FPL team, and he's not cheap. He's obviously, goal and assist. He's got a lot of points so far, and he's probably left a goal on the table too. He's been good for more than what he's returned, I'd say, so far. You could do worse. He could just keep playing. This could be a Justin situation where Chilwell just is fucking dog compared to Marcus A, and he just likes playing Marcus A and as the extra striker, basically, and Chilwell can't do that job because he's a little bitch boy.
Yeah,
that's hot. I could see that.
There's something to be said for that because, Kai is not scoring the goals right now. It's really been like Rom or bust. Like their attack has been like pretty underwhelming. And, if we're comparing Chilwell and Alonso in attack, it's not even remotely close what Alonso brings to the table. So
yeah,
there might be something there. There's also this tweet that Jeff posted in our Discord from Gower AMG. He said, percent of Premier League games started under Tuchel that Chelsea defense have been available for. Rudiger's 91% of the games. Aspel 88, Thiago Silva 73, Christensen 70, James 61, Alonso 54, and Chilwell 48. So you can see right there how he started every game this season, but I don't know. I'm still so scared of it.
It's still one of those where they have so many options, all over the place there, and he rotates a lot. So, if you're getting 2 and 3 from Alonso, then that's pretty good, and if you're willing to, absorb that, I think, and that if that's like maybe even the worst case scenario at this point, I mean, the player has started 5 in a row and he's been wearing like the captain armband. Yeah. So, maybe we're being overly cautious. That's entirely possible, but
absolutely.
It's also the other thing when you look around the defender options in the game, there's so many good defenders. So it's not like, you're really shooting yourself in the foot if you're not getting Alonso, like you're getting some piece of shit. Like you're not like, oh fuck, I guess I have to get Dean. I mean, there's still like 6 other really good options in the 5.5 to 7 million bracket. Yeah. I mean, so, that's another thing there to look at. So
yeah.
But yeah,
when you put it that way, it's like I look at this run and I'm like, okay, if Alonso starts whatever the percentage was, 54% of these games, and I have like Duffy or Livermento coming off the bench and the other 46%, then like that's incredible.
Yeah, that could be fun.
He averages 7 points a game when he starts. Like it's insane. But
yeah, you could get lucky with that.
Yeah, like that seems good to me. This was a Fossey question also. He said, I feel like a lot of not nailed defenders on premium defensive sides get disregarded without consideration. But if you have 5 playing defenders enabled by Livermento, Duffy, etc., isn't it fine to get a Chelsea defender who only plays 3 out of 5 matches and is rarely subbed on, which that's another thing. Reece is subbed on all the time. Alonso's not, and by the numbers.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah, are there some useful defenders on Chelsea, City, Liverpool have been overlooked and might be the right price to just be fine with them auto-subbing off half the time? Yeah, I think it's less price for me and more just like you can't fill your team with these guys. Like it's like choosing between like an Alonso and Jota, Ferran, whoever, no one else is like Christensen, whatever, Reece. It's like you can't have all 5 of them, even though they might all individually be fine picks with the depth, because then you're gonna fuck yourself when one, you don't have a backup or whatever. But yeah, I think he's onto something there, and Alonso, I think, is the best example of that. I think he's just like good.
Yeah, that's enough on that, I think.
Yeah. And then similarly, Man City, a lot of defense questions and stuff like that. FPL Fraser on Twitter, he said, I hope things are well. Last season, you guys were one of the first to mention that City would be more defensive. They were slowing down when they went ahead in games. Target their defense for FPL. I'd love a discussion on this topic. Will they get to 9,500 goals this season? Jason wants us to rank the City defenders. Diaz, Cancelo, where we at compared to Chelsea defenders. Pirlo is Ferran a hold. Chuck Norris, can you discuss Jack? And then Cam Anderson said, it seems like everyone's dropping Ferran this week. Have the other similarly priced mids improved enough to make his rotation risk not worth it? So City has been so quiet under the radar this season, as usual for FPL. I mean, not as usual for FPL. Like they're usually how we start every pod with Man City, but I don't know. There's definitely some talking points. So you went with Cancelo on wildcard.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cancelo is the second best defender in the game. I mean, we're seeing him. I mean, he just banged one in Champions League. I mean, we're seeing him so influential in their attack. I mean, he's just playing. He's not. He's playing out of position. Yeah. And he just looks like he's getting more comfortable growing into the position, being trusted with, very expansive and kind of almost free role for Pep. And, it's been there for a few years now. And he just looks like a player that's coming into it to me. And, unlike Alonso, I'm not concerned about, looking over his shoulder. He's just, he's obviously he's not going to play 38 games, but, he's just in, as many games as he can handle. And, it's nice when
Mendy out,
Yeah, Mendy out. Zinchenko's been kind of in and out, and Walker's old. So, he can play both sides, and they just don't even really have cover. Yeah. So I still feel like Cancelo's... Excuse me.
You're good.
I still feel like Cancelo's just a really, really good pick, and I'm really happy that I have him, and I'm going to hopefully hold him for a while. And Diaz also is just, it's meat and potatoes, right? He's good on bonus, plays every fucking minute. He's the Rudiger of City, basically.
Yeah. He's such a fucking good pick.
Yeah. I think they both are.
I'm probably wildcarding next week.
Yeah.
And I just feel like big at the back is the way I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I think I'll go 2 premiums. It'll probably be Mo and Rom. I don't really see anything around, beyond that. And then I'm probably just going to have double Chelsea, maybe double City and Trent or some shit. I don't even really know, but there's just so many insanely good picks at the back right now between those 3 teams. And I do think that, City are mostly playing the same way. I mean, they're pretty defensive. They're not some sort of free, wide open team that we saw maybe 3 years ago where they could concede, but they're going to outscore you.
Yeah, no, they just control the game.
They just control. That's how Pep plays football.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's like a boa constrictor. They just kind of control the game, keep the ball out of their danger areas, and they just back that their quality is going to find at least a goal, and usually it does.
Yeah.
But the attack just looks like a fucking mess. So much more so than, with Fodinho and Kev back, if they should, it's just fuck me who's going to play. I have absolutely no clue who's going to play where, when, how, no idea.
Yeah, my guess is still, I still think Ferran, as of now, will continue to be the first choice 9. That could obviously change week to week.
It could have already changed.
It could have already changed. He got rotated one game. But, for now, it just seems like that's what Pep decided to do to start the season, basically. And I don't know if anything has made him change that, especially after a 0-0.
Foden and Kevin being fit.
Yeah, maybe
pieces to the equation.
I don't know if Foden can do that. Kev, we know can.
No, but I mean, it could push Jesus more central. Maybe he wants to play Jesus. I mean, there's a lot of dominoes.
It could. I just feel like, for now, I think keeping Ferran for a game or 2 maybe is totally fine. I wouldn't be panicking to get rid of him because he got rotated, because a Man City attacker got rotated for 1 game. It seems to me that he's a major part of the plans. If that changes in 1-2 weeks, then, fucking obviously get rid of him. But he's fine, I think, for 1 or 2. And,
Well, they have at Chelsea, at Liverpool right now, though. So, I mean, I am much more okay with getting rid of him if you're looking at your team. And, he's a player that obviously doesn't look like a good shout for the next two. Does have his warts. Maybe he is a good long-term hold if he's going to play more than he's going to be benched. But you could jump off and jump back on, maybe kind of a thing, because
at Chelsea,
the next two are really bad. They're the worst fixtures of the season, back to back.
Yeah, they are.
So
I knew it was Chelsea. I forgot about the Liverpool game right there. Yeah, he's probably just overthinking it then, and you just get rid of him. Like you said, like jump back on if he continues to start and play minutes there. But
I mean, the bigger issue is, who do you get?
Yeah, and then there's Jack too, Jack just keeps like 90. It's like insane. Like
he keeps scoring all these points in Champions. He had like fucking all the points in Champions League, and then he just comes in the league and just underwhelms. I don't know. I mean, he again against Southampton was
Jack is even more of a long term than Ferran, but I don't know. I don't know. You're spending
$8 million for.
Yeah, I don't know if there's room in the team for $8 million.
Yeah,
but who would you go down to for Ferran? I mean, we got some mid questions. We could talk about that for a little, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I still like Gallagher a lot.
Yeah,
I just think that he's
like bad
for us.
Like they don't look bad.
I don't know about that. I think at Arsenal's bad and at City are bad.
And Brighton's bad.
That game's not very predictable. Honestly, it's not. It's just not. It's not. And I think home Leicester's fine.
Home Leicester's fine. I think Brighton's pretty bad. Arsenal's pretty bad. Newcastle's incredible, and then City's incredibly bad. I mean,
ideally you rotate him.
Yeah, ideally you rotate him, but he gets shots, he gets corners and stuff like that.
He was close to points against your team this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, he had that one chance.
I mean, Sarr's banged a brace, so I mean, he's the best player in the league right now, I guess.
I'd still go to Benrahma at Leeds.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is like this week would be my one last hurrah with like West Ham guys. Like I think Benrahma and Antonio are phenomenal picks this week.
Yeah.
Like they could score 4 again.
I mean, it's very short term to me, just because watching watching him play against Manchester United, he's basically didn't play. He took 3 shots and none of them cleared the man in front of him.
Yeah,
or none of them didn't hit the man in front of him. So, and that's kind of how he's been looking the last few games. But no, I definitely against Leeds though, that's exploitable for sure.
Yeah, and Sarr has home Newcastle at Leeds. Great. It's I don't know. People like talking about form versus fixtures. We don't. But, clearly at Norwich are so fucking bad that they can play anyone into form is what we realize. Like that was Norwich's on paper easiest game of the season and they got fucking done.
Yeah.
So not great for them. Home Watford, you'd think they'd have that one down from last season, but nope.
And I want to throw one name in, a forgotten son, or maybe someone who's kind of toppled down from his opening salvo. Harvey Barnes. I mean, buy low, right?
Yeah,
that's what the stonk saying is. Sell high, buy high, sell high, low, and buy. Burnley, Palace, United, Brenham, Arsenal, Leeds. He still fucking started every game this year. I mean, obviously Leicester are pretty fraudulent with a fraudulent manager, but he's 6'8" now. He's someone that you could set and forget for a little while. Let me give him a month or two, revisit that then and see if he kind of comes in on the promise. Cause there's a player there, you don't need to look there, but I don't know. I feel like Barnes, it could be a good time to get going on Barnes.
Yeah.
They play Burnley right now.
I haven't listened to the Anfield Rap Pods, Coach Home.
I hate
Friday
the fucking
show.
Leicester guy they have on that show, dude.
Was he on either of them?
I fucking hate him. I don't know.
Was he on? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't listened yet because I'm just curious what the only time they were or not the only time they were good, but when they were at their best last season was Iheanacho and Vardy up top together, donging for fun. And I don't know. I mean, with Matto and Barnes have been so fucking bad. I'm just curious if Leicester fans are clamoring for that or want Daka. What are they?
I'm sure. I think Madison's. I don't have any.
Both kind of awful.
Yeah, I know. I understand that, but I think that Madison's not that good. I think Barnes is exceptionally good. So I feel like, I'm quicker to, I obviously haven't watched every Leicester game. I try to not watch every Leicester game. But if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking in my head like it's probably Maddison, not Barnes.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe just get him the fuck out of the team, and
it's a shout. It's a shout.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Barnes is at least worth like looking into a little bit when you're looking in this bracket.
That seems right. Camia and Connor said, should we just be patient with Jota? Is he a long-term hold regardless of Bob's health? And then Haim said, how does VVD stack up with the premium defensive option? Some more big at the back questions.
I mean, I think, VVD certainly. Great pick. Great player, great pick. Always has been, always will be. 6'5", good price. Plays every minute he can handle in the league.
Yep.
Jota, don't know, man. Hate him.
We really were not, neither of us were anywhere near him, really, game week 1.
No,
once the sim stuff came out and I was on Mane, and it was just like, no, don't like a player who gets subbed off early every game. Like, don't like inconsistency of starts. Like, not nailed. Not in on him. Bob's healthy now. Back-to-back-to-back games of low minutes, or not low, but, subbed off 81 versus Leeds, 75 versus Palace. I don't know, man. It's tough. I mean, is he going to get goals? Yeah, he's a good player, and he plays on a really good team, but, like, he also
misses sitters.
Everyone does, but I don't want players who may or may not start, and then when they start, may last between 45 and 60, or may get subbed off between there. It's just not a fantasy thing that I like.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I mean, they have Brentford this week who've been really good defensively, and then they have City. Then it's an international break. Bob will be more than 100% by then. I don't love it long term. I never have, and I still don't.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're definitely getting what you're paying for, though, also. I mean, he's not breaking the bank. I mean, he's 7'7" now?
7'7".
My initial thought really with him was that, obviously Bob's going to probably be ready for City. Jota will start this week. That's, great. But I was going to try and bench him when they play City, Manchester United, like in the tough fixtures, just bench him. Like, he's going to play 25 minutes.
Right.
And, I'll just start like Duffy, happy. Right, good fixture for Duffy, I'll just fucking go for that.
Yeah, if you can do that, that's good.
Because he does play, more often than not, he does play against the bad teams.
Yeah, he does.
And, it's also, low key again, Harvey's out for the fucking year. Thiago out indefinitely. Keita, unfit. So, the midfield is fucked again. So maybe that does, he's not going to go play Henderson, 50 games. I don't know if he's going to turn to Ox. I mean, he's got Curtis Jones back, but, maybe that does open up the all four of them playing again a little bit, periodically, maybe against like a West Ham or, not against, fucking the top, but maybe that's something that starts happening a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought we would have seen that already, to be honest. Like, I thought we were going to see that game week 2, home Burnley, like in games like that where it's just like they're going to be
Bob
a bust. We just have to break them down. But Bob wasn't ready.
Bob wasn't ready.
The thing that I go back to, though, is like we just spent the first 20 minutes of this pod talking about how incredible VVD, Diaz, Cancelo, Rudiger, maybe Alonso are, and like paying 1.7 million more for Jota or 2.2 million more for Jota is a lot of money. It's just a lot.
But that's also a lazy comparison because it's not that simple. I mean, because you're talking about Duffy and Livermento who are versus a player who will get you 2 points for sure all season, in 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's significant. So you still do have to fill your team with some midfielders But no, I mean, it's definitely, right? Your team composition matters a lot also.
For a lot of people, that's the difference. It's like Jota and they're ailing or some shit to, Rudiger and Gallagher or something.
And that might be better for your team.
That's just way better, full stop, I feel like. But, I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean, Jota still has braces in him. We see that. He has braces in him.
He's really good.
He hasn't done it yet, and he's been snatching at things the last few games. So, we could see him, goal assist against Brenham, and, everyone's looking at him differently. But, I still feel like, the tough fixtures, you don't want him in your 11 because he probably won't start, and that's bad. So if you can afford to do that, then maybe he is a long-term hold, and even in the games that aren't, Man City, Manchester United, they don't have another one like that until game week 21, and he doesn't start. He does score off the bench, often.
Saw that last year.
Yeah, saw that last year a lot. So I mean, even if they do have like Brighton at home and he doesn't start, okay, he could still do 6 off the bench, kind of thing.
He's certainly not an urgent transfer out by any stretch of the imagination. Just like if I'm wildcarding next week, tough. I'm not sure, that's a tough sell for me. But like in your team, he's still great. I feel like because you can rotate him and stuff. And,
well, I kind of set up. I set up with that in mind as well. So I still feel like Jota's an okay pick. It's watching the games though is difficult. Like watching Liverpool play, like owning him, it's not very fun.
Fair. All right. Other than that, any specific games or teams you want to go? Or should I just rattle off the rest of the questions?
No, let's do the questions. I'm flagging a little bit. Maybe we get like 15 minutes.
How's your
it's okay. Maybe we do like 15 more minutes or so. 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's do this quick. So Ozzy says, should we be giving Brentford a bit more consideration? Are they a Sheffield United style good defensive team coming up from the championship, or am I an idiot?
I mean, you're exposing yourself certainly, but I mean, you're exposing yourself for one. You don't listen to our podcast because we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
And two, it's it's wrong. So that's not great for you.
Yeah. They were not a good defensive team in the championship, so this is probably a bit of a mirage. But the other side of the coin is... They also didn't
shift to this formation until the end of the season last year.
They're a really smart team in every way, in the way they recruit. They hire smart managers, there's smart people behind the scenes, so they're approaching the season in an intelligent way versus like Norwich, or like we've seen that with a million other teams who just like don't know what the fuck is going on, so that's not surprising, I guess. But yeah, Raya is good. He's fine. One of the better 4-5s probably.
Love him,
dude. Great pick.
Love him.
I'm happy we talked about him.
Is probably going to be my move, even though their fixtures are bad, and just like hide him for a little bit.
You mean after Norwich, right?
Yeah, after Norwich.
Yeah. Okay.
Like ideally, my team no one gets hurt, and I just like do that and float.
Yeah, I mean, you called it in preseason. We've been saying for, I think, the last, 2 weeks, because everyone's been talking about Gray and Gallagher and whatnot, Decore and shit, and we're like, still Boomo, still out of position striker, getting all their chances, and there he goes, he pops off. Sam Serious, do we have enough data to target Norwich with transfers? Dean, maybe? Townsend? Any of them? Norwich are awful.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing that game, you can go. Obviously, we know fucking Norwich are dog shit. That they're going to concede to everyone in the division, but spending a transfer week on week to just spin a spot on your team.
Do it. It. Just do it. Let the English see you do it. It's just ridiculous how bad they are. We need Jerry on for I don't even know what, an
apology.
Fark out protest or something started by Jerry. It's just they're the fucking worst. It's unreal. Jaybird, Sarr and Dennis, solid options. We missed the Norwich Hall already, but they're playing Leaky, Newcastle, and Leeds next to. Yeah, we mentioned them. Yeah, they're good. They're good. Anyone else from Watford? I don't think so. D-back Southampton surprised me with a good run of fixtures on the horizon. Who apart from Livramento should we be looking at? So we mentioned Adam Armstrong. I still like him. I don't know if there's anyone else though.
No, there's not.
I don't think there is.
I mean, the other kid Borges is an interesting one. The Chelsea
if he
guy.
Starting.
But who knows?
Yeah,
it's only 5.
Allison, who's the better pick out of Gallagher and Gray? I think we both like Gallagher, especially with Everton's fitness problems. Vax, I'm on wildcard Guaita or Ramsdale. Wow, that's actually really hard.
I think Ramsdale would be who I would go for there.
I think I'd go Ramsdale too, but Guaita's a good pick. And Palace are pretty good.
Guaita's been good. We've been playing really well. Definitely a good pick.
Yeah. Mbuemo Enthusiast said, what's your take on Pookie? Returns are nice, but I wasn't too inspired by what I saw, and the fear of missing out on Antonio Halls is setting in big time.
Well, I don't know how we got there from the beginning of the question, but yeah, I mean, Pookie's certainly not like an explosive player. He's not going to come in here with 13 pointers and braces and shit. They just are too bad. I mean, the hope with him is that, it was obviously upsetting that his goal was only worth 4 points. I mean, the fucking player who doesn't do a goddamn thing in the game got a bonus point with the little Scottish fucking dweeb.
Hey, he did stuff.
Yeah, whatever. But, looking at the fixtures for them, if he's a 1-2, 1-3 for the next, 6, 7, 8, whatever, and his goals I hope that they're worth, 5.5 points, not 4. It's fine. He's under 6 million.
It's better than fine. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
And that's, for me buying him last week on Wildcard, that's what I was expecting. I mean, 1-1, good start.
Yeah, good
start. So, Everton, Burnley, Brighton, Chelsea, Leeds, Brenham, Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle, no fixture is good for this team, but they still do attack. They don't park. They don't play like Brenham. They do, push men forward. So, he's going to get his little half chances on counters continually, really, no matter who they're playing. So, I still feel like he's going to be, ticking along decently.
Yeah, I agree. He scored the 1-on-1. He had another half chance top of the box, could have been 2, who knows. I'm skipping a bunch of questions since you're not match fit. I'll just end with this one.
Thank
Jason
you.
said, "What's the advice for not tilting after a bad start to the season? I'm asking for a friend." You got anything there? Because I don't know. I'm just staying
we're
tilted.
We're just tilt monkeys on this pod. What are you talking about?
Tilted. Yeah,
you're asking the wrong. Do you think you're talking to 8-time top 10K finisher like Walsh and Alon? We fucking suck at FPL. We tilt all year, all the time. You're not asking the right people. Go to the other pods with actual really great historical FPL. Whatever the fucks, and they'll tell you. I don't know. Go take a meditation class. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that seems like good advice. All right, let's go on. So your team's easy. It looks like you're just saving, rolling.
Yeah, easy save. Team's in good shape. Good 11. Everything looks good this week.
So I have double orange flag, double red flag. Scarlet not a player. White has Spurs. Dyer has Arsenal. Ram has City.
So you're just are you doing the free hit, or are you
I think I'm going to free hit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just be messaging you, I guess, on Discord tomorrow because I have one tinker.
Have you started at all?
I have one tinker. It's just as fast as possible tinker. So I was looking at Schmeichs at the back. Something like Dean, Robbo, Trent, someone.
Ricardo?
Yeah. Looked at him for sure. Cucurella I was looking at, but I don't know. Mo.
I don't like that pick at all.
He's just so good. Triple West Ham, Bowen, Benrahma, Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah, looking at Mo, obviously keeping Mo, then Gray, Doucouré, and Everton. I don't fucking know. I mean, Norwich are that bad, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't get
There's
Townsend.
No one on Everton.
I can't get Townsend.
No, forget about that.
And so Doucouré is the only other player who's fantasy ownable.
Yeah, it's probably just Gray.
It's probably just Gray. And then I have Vardy and Dennis would be off the bench. So it'd be a 3-5-2.
Seems good to me.
Yeah, something like that.
I think you hit on all of the, all the good fixtures, basically.
Yeah, I mean, basically load
Triple
up on
Leicester.
Everton home Norwich, Leicester home Burnley, and West Ham with Leeds.
And 3 Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, 3 Liverpool. I like the clean more than I do like a Mane or a Jota there against Brentham, who've just been super defensive. And then, I'm avoiding Chelsea versus City and City versus Chelsea. I'm avoiding Brentford, who might be wildcard thoughts. I'm avoiding Spurs versus Arsenal. I'm probably avoiding Palace versus Brighton, and I'll own players from both of those teams on wildcard. I feel like I'm avoiding.
What about Ron? Did you have Ron in?
I'm just anti-Ron. He's the most auto pick ever. In normal fantasy and on free hit. Auto best pick.
I mean, yeah. Great pick. Ron.
But I just hate him too much.
Yeah, I mean, watching that game is just I mean, not owning him in FPL is not a good idea.
It's just very, very bad to not own him unless you're protesting him like me against Jason.
Unless you're throwing your tools down.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna own him. So
I mean, the whole team is get him the ball in the box. Yeah, and whenever he gets the ball, it's I'm gonna shoot. Yeah. I mean, the players shoot. Yeah. He shot 8 times and they played really badly. Like the team was
that's
really bad.
Does. Yeah.
And he, should have gotten a double return, and he
either dives or shoots. There's nothing in between.
Or gets fouled for penalties that don't get called. But, there are some other outcomes. But, yeah, I mean, Ron is a very obvious FPL pick. And, we haven't talked about, like, everyone's, prescribed, like, Ron to Rom because the fixture swing. Like, I think that's dumb. Like, I don't think selling Ron is smart, period. Yeah. I think you just take 1 or 2 or 3 games where, the fixture on paper is not so good, but, they're not going to not
really matter.
What are you going to rip your team up to get rid of him, then want to get him back in again when they have fucking like 20 great fixtures in a row?
Yeah, and his price is 13 at that point because half of the United fan base isn't going to sell him. It's also like
the way he plays.
Everton, like some of them are legit bad. Liverpool and City and Chelsea, but like Everton, Leicester, Spurs are also in there. I know they're red on the FPL website, but they're not red. They're green. Not good. Red.
Everton's good. Leicester's good. Like
and honestly,
Spurs are good.
West Ham are better than all 3 of those teams, and he just had 8 fucking shots in the box or whatever he had.
Absolutely.
So it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's just. I'm sure we'll talk about that more later because as soon as next week when everyone's going to be talking about this because that's when the whatever.
The run starts. Yeah, everyone not named me or guest Jason should 1,000,000% have Ronaldo in their team. I totally agree with everything you just said. So then captaincy for this week. Here's some more questions. Let me just bang these out. Simple Monk said, seems like a fairly open week for captaincy. Are Brentford due a fucking courtesy of Mo and Co? Are Rollins shooting numbers enough to outweigh Man United's deficiencies? Are Leeds so fucked that Antonio's actually the best pick? Dewitt said a rogue few of us were on Trent Cap last week, got robbed. Do we go back to it this week or just play it safe with Ron Mo?
I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I liked it last week and I like it again this week. Big Rube said, can you please try and talk me into Star as a captain? I don't think we'll be doing that.
Why would we do that?
And then Jeff D said, Ron looks to be leading camp polls this week, but Mo is great and facing a promoted team. What's the status of your thinking around when it's close, cap the less popular guy strategy? Does that apply this week?
Well, that applies when I think that it's close, and I don't think they're close. I think Ron is like way better than Mo, so that's not when it applies. So
who do they have again this week? They're home.
Villa at home.
Villa home. Villa are pretty open.
Villa just looked like a fucked up mess to me. This is just like Leeds, a lot like Leeds.
Well, in terms
of their performances.
3-0, but yeah.
I mean, that was like a 10-minute, I don't know what happened because they weren't functioning for 80 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, on our Discord, it's 37 Ronaldo, 13 Antonio, 11 Mo. So Mo, third most popular on our Discord.
I think that's too much for Mo. I mean, I think that's just people haven't been watching the games really because, I mean, it's just not a good fixture. I mean, you're going to be facing.
I mean,
you're going to be facing 11 behind the ball. I mean, this isn't going to be like holy shit. It's a 4-goal game for Liverpool.
The one thing I'd say consistently over like 4 years or whatever of Klopp's Liverpool is that a 5-3-2 really defensive just like always gives us problems. That's just how it is. It's just they have too many men. There's just too many guys. So yeah, I don't really like the fixture from an attacking perspective. That's why on the free hit I'm going double. Maybe even I'll go triple at the back.
Trent seems great though. I mean, it seems like the only issue is that it's an away. You don't love that, but it is hard to imagine how Brenham scored the goal to me. Yeah,
they're going to have like one chance or something, and that they just have to score that one chance basically.
But, Antonio, you gotta spend time on him. If you're looking at your captaincy this week,
I think it's a very, very viable good pick.
Yeah, he was rested midweek.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they got away with it. They won. Anyone else?
And I mean, Ronaldo is. I haven't moved from him since whatever.
Yeah. I mean, any other than basically Ronaldo, Antonio, Mo. I don't really. I mean, Vardy. I guess.
Vardy is like a really left field.
It's not to be different. Crazy. Burnley are fucking awful.
Burnley are really bad, and when they've been playing, pushing it up a little bit higher, he can get him behind for sure.
Yeah. So I don't hate that.
If they don't injure him first, though.
Always on the cards. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'll go. I guess because I have pick of the litter, so I'm not sure where I'll go. But it won't be Ronaldo. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean Antonio seems good.
I do.
I mean, you look at the 11
like
that Leeds are going to put out. It's like, oh my goodness.
Who's that kid? Charlie Cresswell or some shit?
Yeah.
Do you remember that kid that came on? Yeah. So he's going to play, and Dan James is going to play, and
Shackleton's going to play. I mean, who knows? Who the fuck knows who's going to play, dude?
It's going to be awesome.
They don't even have Stru yet because he's fucking banned from his red card still.
They don't have Stru, Cog, Llorente, or Ayling.
They have Cooper and someone who we don't know. They're gonna play like Dallas at center back. Who's this guy named
Cody Drama on the FPL page?
He's gonna play like Calvin at center back or something.
Yeah,
yeah, it could be bad. I mean, I'm definitely scared of this game having no West Ham players. I'm very scared.
I mean, I think I'll at least be doubling West Ham. That's like that's a great free hit fixture to target right there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Let me slap asses. We got 4 new signups. Thank you. Welcome. We got Faison A. We got Ska. This name is just absolutely insane. Ska Bolts Nemeth. JD right on and Marcus Ringstead. Get the fuck in there. We have to keep it kind of short. Walsh is on the mend, but we did a good job, I think. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll be better on Monday, talking better on Monday, so we could do normal things.
I have faith in the drugs.
Yeah.
Any last words?
See you tomorrow.
Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL. Support us Patreon.com /FMLFPL. Subscribe, review, and cheer.